I'm Mike Hatcher.
Hey folks, it's Ernie Pack.
I am Natalie Jones.
What's up everybody? My name's Matt Warner.
Hey, I'm G-Man. You know what? I'm George Shotwin. I'm anybody you want me to be, but you know what? There's one thing I am. I'm part of the para movement. That's right. Feel it. Oh, feel it.
My name is Melody Knapp, and I am part of the para movement.
Guys, it's April, the Psychic Housewife from New Jersey, and I am part of the para movement.
Hashtag the para movement.
And I am part of the para movement.
And I'm part of the para movement.
I'm Sophia Tombrelli, and I'm part of the para movement.
Just wanted to talk real quick about the para movement that's going on in the world. It's all about para unity. It's about para family. It's about diversity like you'll see nowhere else. In the paranormal community, we got folks of all races, religions, sexual orientations, political beliefs, you name it. And we're spreading positivity, good vibes everywhere. So, hashtag the para movement. Join it, be a part of it, and everybody have a great day. Take care.
Why did you let him kill me? It was the clown.
You're listening to Animal Paranormal Live, where we talk about all things paranormal. And now, here's your host, the Animal.
Are you ready?
And we are live. Welcome to our show. Welcome to a podcast where we speak all things paranormal. I'm so excited to come on tonight. Had to run here all the way from Orlando. I was like a little child because I'm a big fan. I love ghost hunters. Also, I love all the guys on the team. Amazing bunch of guys. Just stuff they just find, the evidence is just so compelling and intriguing. And I just want to get them on here right now. My good friend Brandon Elvis. Dude, what's up?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. Living the dream. How's things going, man? How's the show? How's life been treating you? I know you have a lot of stuff going on. I've been seeing on Facebook you have a lot of things like projects going on with filming. And it's just intriguing, especially all the evidence you've been showing. And like I saw that one thing you showed me earlier, dude. That was freaking amazing. We'll go to that pretty soon, but just tell the viewers what you've been going up to. You know, what's going on?
Oh, staying busy, man. I've been lucky to be busy during this time. Things have been pretty locked down as of late. After we finished filming the second season of Ghost Hunters, I've been pretty much locked down. But, I've been working on this book with Mustafa Gadalari, which will be released in 2021. We signed a deal with Llewellyn Worldwide, which is one of my favorite publishers. Growing up, almost every book I read about the paranormal was published by Llewellyn. So anytime you see that crescent moon on the side of a book, it's always exciting. And we signed that book deal, and we're finishing that up now. And we'll have it out in 2021. I can't give too much information about it as of yet. And we'll have a big announcement here in the coming months, luckily. And also working on some film projects as well. So it's a very exciting time.
That's awesome. Can you actually talk about what film projects you're actually working on?
I can't as of now, unfortunately. I can say that it's going to be a paranormal film. It's
That's awesome.
relevant to the field, and it's going to be something very different, something that we have not seen before. As you know, with a lot of the shows and a lot of what we're seeing now, it's very stale out there. A lot of what we're seeing is rinse and repeat, the same thing over and over again, just dressed up with different names. So what we're going to do is very different, and hopefully going to take the field into a new direction.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, hey, April, what's up? Our friend April's on. So before you were in the paranormal, what did you do before the paranormal? Like, how did it all start? Your adventure from when you were young to now.
Well, my interest in the paranormal began at a very young age. In 1995, at the age of 8 years old, I lost my oldest brother to cancer. And in 2004, I lost another brother to suicide. So that kind of sent me on my journey into the paranormal. So before I ever actually stepped foot into the field, I read as much literature as I could, books about the paranormal, different types of investigation styles, from psychic investigation to scientific investigation, metaphysical, whatever it may be. And I really wanted to find out my protocol, my methodology, the ethics I wanted to involve in my investigation style. And so I read as much as I could about it. And before I actually ever stepped foot in the field, I reached out to medical doctors, scientists, engineers, people from various technical industries that could help me remain grounded in scientific principle. And that's something I did. And I founded the American Paranormal Research Association in 2006. To solely investigate historical locations throughout the United States. And that's something I've been doing for quite a while now, and something I take very personally and very emotionally. And not only that, so during that time, I started working in television for a number of years. I was a promotions producer, a commercial producer for ABC, CBS, and Fox Television for a number of years.
That's
so I
cool.
have that experience behind the camera and working in television. So my previous paranormal investigations and the way I've been conducting my research for a number of years kind of went hand in hand, and that's where I'm at today.
That's really cool. Now, I kind of wanted to go to that evidence, dude, because that freaking was amazing. That figure that popped out of the doorway, dude. It gave me goosebumps just watching, because I've seen stuff like that, and you get it you don't really get a good glimpse of the paranormal side once you really actually capture it and see it and it pops out. Speak about that, because it just intrigues me so much.
Well, in the winter of 2008, I was lucky enough to investigate the Queen Mary and the Queen Mary's first class pool with myself, investigator in training, and a security guard. And we went down to the first class pool changing stalls, and I gave a mini DV camera, digital video camera. This is back in the days of tape. So this was not a hard drive or a SD card by any means. This was actually on tape. I handed that camera to the investigator in training, and I proceeded to show her how to conduct an EMF sweep to try and find what's a natural EMF field versus what is something that we can't explain. And I don't even think she knew the camera was on. So she's holding this camera in one hand, doing an EMF sweep with the other hand. And lo and behold, we capture this very striking image that was in one of the changing stalls in the RMS Queen Mary, which has significant reports of activity spanning since the 60s. So it's a piece of footage I can't explain, a piece of footage that all of my consultants can explain, and a piece of footage that's been dissected and broken down on the internet. We know how that goes. Yeah. Anytime you put anything out on the internet, you got a bunch of armchair experts out there trying to explain things. So it's a piece of footage I can't explain, and something I still find very, very intriguing.
Yeah, like my good friend tells me, I'm the best expert of nothing. So it's like you never know what the heck it is. It's so cool though, just to be able to see something like that. Like, what is the most compelling? I know that was compelling to me, but what was the most compelling evidence that you've ever seen in your whole paranormal career, or even during the show?
Well, going after that piece of footage that you're talking about that we captured in the RMS Queen Mary in 2008, I had to say when I implemented this camera, the EMCCD photon camera, into the fold in season 2 of Ghost Hunters, was when we took scientific principle and scientific investigation of the paranormal to the next level. And I know a lot of people still to this day don't quite understand it and grasp it quite yet. And I think that, the further we go with the research with this camera and the theory behind it is the more we'll understand it and the more we'll know. But I think I'd have to say in Fort Stanton, New Mexico, when we captured this image of what looks like a humanoid figure in the tuberculosis hospital there in Fort Stanton with this camera. Again, this camera is based off of the theory that the possible manifestation of ghosts or entities, whatever you want to call them, is through photon events. And that's because I reached out to one of my scientific consultants, a person that is a very brilliant man, living, breathing science icon. And I asked him, I said, if ghosts are real and they are manifesting, how would that take place? And he said that it may be through photon events, which are light events. And these light events are not only light events, they carry electromagnetic radiation, which is another theory in the paranormal field. And I utilize this camera, which is typically used by the digital imaging scientific community. And we captured this significant piece of footage. And I think it's a huge breakthrough. I think it's something that needs to be taken seriously. Obviously, it was on a TV show, which it's hard to take that seriously sometimes because you have such goofy TV shows out there, right? You see all these shows that exist on a particular network. They're all the same thing. They're using pseudoscience. They're using really horrible devices to get their carny act across. So I know it's hard to grasp the idea that maybe there was a huge breakthrough on a show like Ghost Hunters, but there was, and that's the type of research I continue to do, and that's something you'll be seeing here in 2021 as well.
That's awesome. And if you have any questions out there, folks, for Brandon, please write them in the comments because we'd love to ask him questions. And also, I want to go into equipment because I know with my experience, also, I want to get your take on it too, because when I investigate, I did a kind of experience. It's also with like EMF meters too. Like when I have my phone in my pocket, like your phone, like is a big, like, freaking Wi-Fi wave for an EMF detector. And sometimes like people get going, oh my gosh, it's something, something's there. But you realize your phone's going off too as soon as a text message, because it tricked me too. Like sometimes I get like, what the heck is just going on? And like, you never know, man. Like sometimes just things like that with a little EMF detector could kind of trick you in that kind of case.
Absolutely. A lot of the EMF devices that are being used in the paranormal field are very unshielded. They are not meant for actual measurement of electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic fields. So you have K2 meters, ghost boxes, all these kind of things. The ghost meter, I think is what it's called, actually, with the orange top on it. There's a lot of those that are not shielded properly and are not used in the right means. Even the old school trifield meter, the analog trifield meter, is very much affected by radio frequencies as well as cell phone frequencies. So you have to find devices that are very well shielded and very, very well protected from these man-made measurements like radio frequencies, cell phone frequencies, like you were just mentioning. I think the EDI Plus is very well shielded and one of the more trustworthy devices out there that can be utilized for trying to find EMF fields. Because you would literally have to take the device and set it on top of a cell phone that's on and receiving service in order for you to even get a minimal spike. So there's a lot of flawed devices out there. There's a lot of goofy pseudoscience happening, and hopefully once the public starts to not trust these TV shows that are out there, not taking it as gospel, we'll start to push forward and really understand what's going on.
Yeah, before I got a couple of people that have questions for you before I get them on there. There's something I've been wanting to ask because the spirit box, I'm not sure with it because, it's pretty cool when you hear it on TV, but is it actually real or is it actually a radio wave that comes, in coincidence?
Yeah, we have to think about the original concept of what that device was meant for. It was not originally a spirit box. It was called a Frank's box, right? So this man named Frank, I can't remember his last name off the top of my head at the moment, but he created a similar device actually to try and communicate with extraterrestrials. It wasn't even actually used for entities or ghosts.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, or what we're doing right now. But But what you're seeing right now on television and how people utilize a spirit box, if I was to take that evidence or what people claim to be evidence to a audio engineer, and I was to have that audio engineer break that down through a spectrum analysis to try and tell me if there's a natural explanation to what I'm collecting, they would throw it out right away because it's all radio frequency and it's all man-made contamination. So take what you will from it. I won't utilize the device. I think that it is an easy, cheap way for people to think that they're having results because I think they want to believe so bad that they're going to utilize devices like that. But I would say that it is a completely flawed and contaminated device that cannot be taken seriously if we want to push this field forward.
It's funny you say that. My friend that I've been investigating for like 20 years, he says the same thing. It's just, you just get it. It could just trick you. You think it's a ghost. You get so excited. It's like, but it's really not. It's just like you were saying.
Oh, exactly. And audio pareidolia is a huge part of that device, right? Not only are you hearing obviously stray radio frequencies, but your brain is going to try and make sense out of that. You're going to find words. You're going to find relevant words in the situation you're investigating. So say you're in an old hotel where a little girl passed away 100 years ago. You're going to hear what you think is a kid's voice saying something that's relevant to the investigation. People say, well, kids aren't on the radio. Well, you're crazy because there's a commercial on the radio called 1-800-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That is a very prominent radio commercial that has only kids on it. So there are many, many, many commercials on the radio.
Oh, they could say or someone could say Kim or something, and they think it's their name, but it's like you said, it's a hit or miss. You don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
But April has a question here for you. What is your favorite experiment to conduct during an investigation?
Well, lately it has been utilizing this EMCCD camera, this photon camera, again, which is used by the digital imaging scientific community to record photon events, single photon events. And again, if you think about the idea that space, black holes, all of this contain photon events, which black holes are, a lack of light. But here's the thing. Black holes have a tremendous amount of pressure. And you think about all the photons in the universe. I started to notice when I started to set a data logger in front of this EMCCD camera that there was significant pressure changes in the environment prior to seeing these photon events take place in these very significant locations where eyewitnesses claim to see ghosts or entities, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's the biggest experiment I've been conducting lately, is trying to find the environmental factors associated with these anomalous visual anomalies that we're seeing. And I think that's something that is interesting and actually something I'm going to be conducting later tonight after we get off this broadcast.
Oh, man, that's awesome. You have to let me know how it goes. That'd be pretty cool. I got Lola here. She says, I know the Queen Mary is one of your favorite locations. Was there even a location that you had an emotional response to besides that one?
Absolutely. I'd have to say the McConaughey Estate in Hayward, California is a location I've been investigating for, a decade now, over 10 years, about 10 years. And there's something about that location, something about that place that just it resonates with me. It's got such an energy to it, and we've collected so much data there, so much evidence that something, supernatural or unexplainable is taking place. And I can't wait to get back there this next year, and I can't wait to show everyone what we're working on. I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. So with everything that has been going on, is there another show coming up in the future, or?
Show-wise, no, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people are really speculating about what happened with Ghost Hunters and the future of Ghost Hunters. I mean, I made that statement on Midnight FM about a month ago, 3 weeks or so ago, and I stick by that because everyone got the same call that I did in June that A&E did not pick the show back up. It's unfortunate, but we did 24 episodes, amazing work. It was fantastic. Everyone I worked with was amazing. Everyone on the team was fantastic. Everyone on the crew, the network, as well as the production company, Pilgrim Films. I mean, these are amazing people. It was a great opportunity, but Ghost Hunters is, as of now, and it's not coming back. And it's not coming back to A&E. I know there's a lot of people out there that kind of spin it a different way, but unfortunately, it's just not the case. But time to move on, right? Things come.
Yeah.
All good things come to an end. That's how it works. That's how this life works. We don't live in a fantasy land. You know what I mean? This is how it goes.
Yeah,
So,
you just got to keep trucking, man.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone on the team and everyone on Pilgrim Films makes amazing shows. They do such great shows. Wicked Tuna is an amazing show that they do.
Awesome.
You think about Annie's got some great products out there. I know they have a new show coming out about people surviving crimes, which is really going to be interesting. I know other people on the Daryl's got Epic Haunts that he's working on, which is fantastic. But Mustafa Gadalari and I are working on some stuff, man. And I think that everyone's really gonna like it. It's gonna be really a breath of fresh air.
Now, with you and Mustafa, you said you were working on the book. I think you guys weren't you guys doing a film or something together? Or
That's right. We are doing a film together as well. Yeah, you'll see that in 2021.
That's
and
awesome.
Something that we're very deep into right now, and it's interesting, man. It's
seeing
gonna
a lot
be
of
different.
pictures. That's awesome.
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. I know the field's a weird place right now. I think everyone can agree on that.
Yeah, agree.
Here's my opinion. Here's my theory. You think about the paranormal field. You think about the surgence of the paranormal field. You think about Ghost Hunters brought that into existence in 2004, right? With Taps, Jason Hawes, Grant Wilson. I think that now that Ghost Hunters has kind of gone away, I think that that's going to be a little lull in what's going on right now. I know there's a lot of shows on Travel Channel, things like that, but I think that it's going to take a dip for a little bit, but I think that things will be back pretty soon.
Yeah. Now, do you get to hang out with the other guys like Rochelle and Brian and all them still?
No, I haven't seen them in a while. No, last time I saw them was in February. We did an event at the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California. That was the last time I saw them. I spoke to Kristen the other day. I speak to everyone pretty frequently, but I'm in contact mainly with Daryl and Mustafa, and
awesome.
Good friends of mine, man. Really good friends.
Yeah, I'm actually having Daryl on the show pretty soon, so that'll be really cool. I think Brian and Rochelle will be on pretty soon also, I think next year. But I got a comment here. What is your take on using LiDAR in live view to map locations and potentially capture entities moving around the location? From my research, I find that it was an extremely useful tool.
Absolutely, Ryan. LiDAR is amazing, and it's definitely a great tool to use. Definitely something to adapt from another technical industry, which is the way I think this field should think. Again, there are no experts in this field. We all know that. There's no such thing as an expert out there in any way, shape, or form. But what we can do is go to experts from other technical industries that can help us understand natural phenomena, right? Because we don't know what the hell we're doing. Let's be honest. We have no fucking clue what we're doing in any way, shape, or form. So we need to talk to people that know what they're doing in order to understand what is something that's unexplainable and what's something that is completely natural. So LiDAR is amazing. There's a lot of other devices out there that can be utilized in that sense. I always love LiDAR because you think about a Curse of Oak Island and treasure hunting, which is really,
I love that show.
Really no different than what we're doing in a way, right?
Yeah.
Except we're not digging in the mud. It's a different thing, but.
Oh, dude, I'm all about that, about treasures and stuff like that. It's good stuff, man. It's just so compelling, especially when you just be able to see it, right in front of you.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, man. If we reach out to these professionals from technical industries that can provide equipment like this, like LiDAR, or the EMCCD camera, things of that nature, we put that into our space. We put that into our world. And if we capture something they can't explain, now we're in the business. We're doing something right. Instead of going out there and utilizing these devices that are made in someone's garage, that are trying to make a name for themselves or trying to be famous, or make some money, wherever it may be, which is not money in this field. Wake up, everybody. This is not a place to make money. It's just not. But it's time to get past the Facebook likes, the Instagram followers. It's time to get out there and do real research. And if you don't want to be part of it, I just don't understand why. So.
Well, that's why I'm sure you saw the video, the hashtag Paramovement. It's just pretty much all about, it's not about focus on yourself, but the people, out there, and to help others. We're here for each other. We're not here for ourselves.
Exactly.
And, I tell everybody, I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this to get famous. I'm not doing this for money. I mean, I got a family, I got children, just like you. I know you have a family also.
Yep.
You know, we're here to help each other. You know, no matter what the cause is. If people know your name, they know your name. You know, that's good. That's awesome. You know, if you've been on the show, that's awesome. You've done an amazing job where you find amazing evidence, and that's what we're here about, is to find, you know, the true evidence, you know, what is out there, because there's so much things out there that people are testing and so many experiments going on. Who knows how long that's going to go on for? We may never even ever in our lifetime ever find the answer. But you know what? We're having fun doing it. That's what it's all about. You know, some people like say, well, is a ghost going to come out right away, you know, during investigation? I'm like, no. You know, but you know what? You get to chill, you get to relax, you get to eat some food, stuff your face, and you know, have a great, amazing night with people.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You know, and that's the thing. There's really no right or wrong way to do any of this, as we all know. There's no experts in this field, but you know, it's all about what you want to do, how you want to do it, and to each their own, man.
Yeah, I got. Let's see. Lolaz, have you ever tried to contact anyone specific, like a family member?
No, I have not. I call myself a natural skeptic, which again, I think the term skeptic has got a negative connotation associated with it. I am someone that wants to find proof or evidence that it exists. I don't want to go in there speculating one way or the other, because if I go in biased in any way, shape, or form, I think I've tainted the investigation in some way. So I want to go in, find the data, find evidence, empirical evidence, have that tested by a third party, and really find out what's going on.
Now, have you ever been in situations in investigations where you had something like just, I don't know, like touch you, or you're like, what the crap, you know, like stuff like that just like I don't know if I want to go back in there or what's going on. Have you ever had any experiences like that?
I've never really had an experience where I didn't want to go back to a location per se, but I have had experiences where I've experienced stuff or felt something touch me or whatever you want to say that I can't explain. I know that there was a time where I felt what seemed like a cold wind go through me. I actually felt it inside of my body, which is a very strange experience and hard to put into words and really hard to explain. But I've had things happen and I'm like, there is literally, in my mind, from my logical point of view, no clue what the hell that was. And it's not really something that you can measure or something that you can document, right? It's not something you can show to somebody and say, hey, look, this is what happened. Can you help me explain this? I think it's a personal experience in its purest form, but I have had experiences like that, absolutely.
That's awesome. Another thing I had in my mind to ask you, scientifically, you know, you get all those pictures of orbs and stuff like that. You're not sure what it is. Now, there was a case on, I think it was season 2, where you guys caught, where it was just going all over the place. It was like colorful.
Mm-hmm.
You know which one I was talking about?
Yeah, Clifton, absolutely.
What was that? That was interesting.
Well, what makes it more interesting is the fact that was the EMC CD camera. That's this photon camera that I've been talking about through the broadcast. This camera, again, is used by the digital imaging scientific community to record single photon events. And these photon events look like light events, luminous phenomena, right? So what you saw on that is something we could not explain. We went in there and tried to recreate it with dust, with bugs, with even lighting a match to create luminous phenomena or try and illuminate the room. We tried to create that event and could not. And we actually had that looked at by a third party that could not be explained. So it seemed to be this ball of light that was not showing up in infrared. It wasn't being seen with our own eyes, but it was only being seen on this specific, very specialized camera.
Now, like with what was I talking about? I just had a brain moment for a second.
No worries, man.
Happens. Orbs. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Orbs. So when people show you an orb, like say someone gave you a picture, like what's your take on orbs? Like just in general.
Well, 90% of the time they're going to be moisture, dust, bugs, things of that nature. You're going to have infrared light reflecting off of spider webs, off of moisture, dust, bugs. You're going to have very luminous flashes off of a camera that's going to provide reflections. And what it looks strange a lot of the time. It looks very weird. It'll move in a strange pattern. It'll have its own what seems to be a light source, but 90% of the time that's going to be completely and easily disproved by dust, moisture, bugs, things of that nature.
Wow, that's cool. I got it's your buddy from West Virginia, from Jersey.
Wes, what's up? What's up, Wes? How are you, man? Hope you guys are well.
All right. April asked. She wanted to ask, what is your favorite piece of evidence that you have documented?
I've got a few. You know, that piece that we talked about earlier from the Queen Mary in 2008 is something that really sticks out in my mind. And I also have to say that this piece of footage that we captured at Fort Stanton in season 2 of Ghost Hunters, unreal, man. And again, I say this because I know the TV landscape and people on television, it's so hard to believe some of these people. It's so hard to believe them because they're so P.T. Barnum. They're like carnival barkers. It's like you're walking through a carnival show and they're asking you to pay a couple bucks to throw a dart at a balloon or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's hard to believe that, but man, that evidence is true. That evidence is real. I think it really got underplayed on the show, which is kind of sad, but man, more to come soon. More to come soon.
That's awesome. Now, in season 2, which I thought was pretty interesting, it was actually pretty intense too, where a lot of stuff was going on. Even like with the vehicles, like something was thrown at the vehicles and stuff like that. Like what was going on there? Because I thought that was a really epic episode.
You know, it was tough to say what exactly happened. I was in the back seat actually where whatever that was hit the vehicle. My head was right above it. My head was right in that window where that happened. If it was not even a foot above, it would have broke that window, and who knows what would have happened. But you know, I don't know what that was to this day. I mean, we try to find every logical explanation. We try to find something in the road. Was it, you know, a piece of debris? Was it a rock? Was it something like that? We couldn't find it. And it's something that we all think about to this day, and something that I think that rings into our mind every once in a while, and something that I can't find an explanation for quite yet.
And people don't realize that if it is an entity, entities could possibly, I don't know, I mean, I'm just speculating, could possibly pick up something that heavy. You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff in my time investigating, and you kind of think, how the hell are they freaking unbolting a deadlock or picking up a chair or doing all this crazy stuff? I'm like, it just blows my mind.
Absolutely. It's weird, man. That's something that we don't know at this point. And hopefully one day, you know, with the advancement of technology or the more research that we conduct, I think the more we'll know.
Wes, just family's good.
Great, man. Great to hear, Wes.
So what's your take on, I'm going to kind of change it up a little bit, kind of go into a different prospect, but what's your take on UFOs and cryptology?
You know, that's not my realm of research, not something I look into, but I think it would be pretty ignorant to think that there wasn't something else out there in the universe. Such a vast universe. There's so much going on. And we can also think about the idea that there are multi-dimensions, you know, or interdimensional stuff even. So it's tough. It's tough. It's not something I research, not something I look into, but I absolutely think that there are something extraterrestrial. There is something going on out in the universe. Cryptids, I think that's another thing. To this day, in the Galapagos Islands, going out to the Amazon, they're finding new species. They're finding new types of animals constantly. So I think there's something to both those fields, and something that actually can be taken into the scientific field a lot easier than what we're actually dealing with in the ghost realm.
I think it'd be cool if we could actually find a Bigfoot or something like that, or a chupacabra or a Mothman, if we have like scientific proof. Because I think, honestly, like before like science and stuff, I had no idea anything about science or any of the gadgets before I was I didn't know anything about Spirit Box, EMS, but like now the more and more I get into it and just watch like you guys just doing all these amazing freaking scientific breakthroughs, it's just really cool to see that. Like, I don't. Nick Groff was just on. Hey, Nick, what's up, buddy? But they just did the seance at the Conjuring House, and it's just freaking amazing the stuff they just had there. If you watch their live event there, I think you can watch on Nick Groff's page.
Nice.
But it's just really good stuff there, and I'm just loving the scientific method behind it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, what's up, Nick? I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Last time I think I saw you was in 2009 when I filmed with you guys, so it's been a while. What's up, Nick?
Yeah, Nick, he was on the show, I think it was a few weeks ago he was on the show. We had a real good talk about all his upcoming stuff, and he got a lot of good stuff coming up. But, yeah, just science, I wasn't really crazy about, like I said, I wasn't crazy about science, but now it's just really intrigued me. And I think, honestly, eventually, maybe, like I said, in our lifetime or not, we may find evidence. We don't know. But it'd just be cool if, like, someday in my lifetime, I would like to know the truth, of why this stuff happened. Is it an interdimension? Is it parallel? I don't know.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of involving the scientific community in what we're doing, right? I've been very lucky to work with the only person in history to receive 2 PhDs simultaneously in any discipline, and that's Dr. Harry Clore. And I've been very lucky to have that scientific consultant, someone that's really helped me remain grounded in scientific principle and going out there and investigating this phenomena or, said phenomena. So is it interdimensional? Is it something that can be perfectly naturally explained? We don't know. But the more we open ourselves up to that scientific scrutiny and the more that we actually go out there and utilize the scientific method and principle, I think it's going to push this field a lot further than where we're at right now. Because you see a lot of these shows, a lot of these goofy TV shows that are out there. They're all the same show dressed up with different names. Let's just be honest. They're all doing the same thing. There's nothing fresh going on out there in the television landscape in any way, shape, or form. You see people out there doing their own thing on the web. You have people that are out there broadcasting their own stuff. They're making way bigger strides. They're doing things their own way. They're not put in this box of a network. They're not doing this thing that's going to take away from the research. And that's very exciting. And I think that, again, the more we look into scientific principle, the more we open ourselves up to scientific scrutiny is the day we'll step out of the shadow of pseudoscience.
Yeah. Ryan just wanted to ask a question. What has been your favorite mic to run into your interface when doing a live view while EVP sessions?
Ooh, that's a tough one, Ryan, because I try and use as many different mics as I can. Omnidirectional is something that's always beneficial, especially running into the interface and then running into the recording program. Anytime you can use an omnidirectional mic, it's going to be fantastic, especially now with the VR mics, these Omni mics, things like that. You know what I mean? It's amazing. You can get such great results, amazing bitrate recording qualities, and you can really kind of pinpoint where the sounds are coming from. And I think that's really beneficial. And especially when you take that to a sound engineer, you have that broken down through a spectrum analysis. You really know, is it a man-made frequency? Is it a cell phone frequency? Is it a radio frequency? What is it? So it's tough, Ryan. That's a good question because experimenting constantly, using different mics, even shotgun microphones, condenser mics, man, try it all. See what works.
Now, talk about EVPs. I've used water. And I felt like I've gotten some great EVP evidence just with running water also. I guess you could use white noise and stuff like that. What's your take on that?
It's tough. It's tough. I want the cleanest recording possible.
Yeah.
Again, it's not experiment with what you want to experiment with. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. But to me, I want the cleanest, best recording possible, again, to be able to go to that third party, that expert to say, hey, look, break this down through a spectrum analysis. Is there a natural explanation for this, or is this something we can't explain? So for me, I always am looking for that clean recording quality, the highest bit rate, the best quality possible. But hey, man, experiment with whatever you can. Who knows what's going to happen?
Now, what was the most compelling evidence of an EVP that you've ever had?
Oh, that's I have the perfect answer for that, actually, because it's the best piece of audio evidence I've ever collected and something I still am mind boggled to this day about. So it was in 2010. I was at a place called the Saugus train station in Newhall, California. And this was a train station that was actually moved from its original location to a spot that is now right next to an Amtrak or a train route. Not far at all. I mean, very close. And I was up there recording with a condenser microphone running into an interface, into a computer, into a recording software. And all of a sudden, a train started to pass, a factual train. You have the bells ringing off, you hear the train honking its horn, and all of a sudden you hear a very clear, very, in your face British woman's voice saying, "Will that be on the train?" Not only did that show intelligence, it was relevant to the situation, relevant to the history of the location, but it was so loud and so powerful, it overtook the audio of the train passing, which is very loud, as you know. I mean, it's extremely loud.
Yeah.
And I had that tested through spectrum analysis, could not find an actual logical explanation for it. But here's the interesting thing, is that when I caught this audio, it was only myself and another investigator on the entire property, and we're both men. There was no females with us, let alone a woman with a British accent. When I took this audio evidence to the president of the Historical Society, she went ghostly white. She was terrified because she didn't tell us about the fact that that upstairs area where we recorded this audio was, originally J.H. Tolfrey's hotel, which was in the station master's living quarters right above this train station. And J.H. Tolfrey and his wife were British, and she died in that room. So that's pretty interesting.
That's intense, man. That's pretty cool stuff. Wes has a question for you. Was there any difference of filming season 1 or 2 of Ghost Hunters?
Absolutely. Season 2, we went out and we were on our own. Grant Wilson was not with us on location very much, and they kind of gave me the reins to lead the team. As you see, I was conducting all of the reveals. I was the one out there putting out the methodology, the protocol, the ethics, and it was an amazing experience, man. It was a really amazing experience coming in, being the paranormal technician, being a tech manager, and then moving into that spot and be able to have that opportunity to go out there and really lead the team in a sense, and go out there and implement this type of research I've been conducting since 2006 was very, very amazing. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
That's awesome. Like I said, great show. I love the show. Always been a fan. The one question I've been actually wanting to ask during filming, because I love to film. I'm starting to get into a lot of filming myself. And between takes and stuff like that, has anything happened paranormal? Like before you got it, oh crap, I wish I would have got that, on film. Stuff have happened. I'm sure a bunch of stuff has happened, but to you guys, there on set.
Absolutely, it happens. We try to run cameras, continuously. We try and roll all the time, but man, it happens, especially in the day. You're there during the day. You don't know when this is going to happen. You don't know when the phenomenon is going to take place. So you're there during the middle of the day, walking around just by yourself, strolling, checking out the property, and then, boom, something happens. So it's tough, but yeah, that has happened many times.
Dude, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to your next projects and everything also that's going on. And also, I see you're a fellow musician, just like myself.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. So, how did you get into music? I know we're kind of going towards a different way now, because music. I got music tattoos all over the place.
Nice, dude. Oh yeah.
I'm a bass player, guitar player. I played in a band for a while. I love music's my passion, other than paranormal.
Right.
So, how'd you get in the whole music? How did that start with you?
Oh, it just kind of was something I was always passionate about, man. From the moment I heard music, I always wanted to play. I was always self-taught in every instrument I ever played. Guitar, bass, drums, piano, you name it. I play it, and my last release was in 2016 through Virtuous Records. That's still available, iTunes, Spotify, all of it. It's called 2 Years of Black under my name. But I was signed to multiple record labels throughout the years and metal bands and things of that nature. And I love music, man. It's always part of my DNA. It's always part of my blood. So I'll always play. And I've been more into the music composition side, or the film composition side of it, excuse me, the last couple of years, where I like to score film. It's a real challenge to sit there and look at an image and strike some kind of emotional response from it. And that's something that's always been interesting to me. So I've been a musician for many years, been in the business, and now I'm in the film business, which is interesting. Strange turn of events.
I feel you, man. I haven't gotten to jam that much that long with everything going on, this whole charade going on with everybody getting sick. But
right.
Hopefully it get back out there and start jamming. I miss it so much, man. Music was the one thing that made me happy a lot of times, when
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love music. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh yeah.
Love it, man.
I'll send you some tunes, man. Check it out.
Send me some, man. I listen to it. I love music. I like all kinds, man. I was in a heavy metal rock band touring around for a while. I gotta send you some of my music too. So
hell yeah, I'd love to hear it, dude. Hell yeah.
I'll exchange it. But dude, I miss playing on stage. That was the most funnest things ever to do. Daniel said, raise up vibrations on locations, bring the guitar.
There you go. Why not, man? It's worth a shot. Actually, that's something I've done many times, the Singapore experiment, right? Where you play music in a location, time appropriate, time period. And man, that works. It works.
Dude, that's awesome. Ryan kind of had something. How did it influence your investigations? I guess what he's talking about with music.
I'm not sure it really influenced my investigation so much, because I always want to remain so unbiased, and down the middle with it. I think that the moment that we go in with a conceived or preconceived idea of what's going to happen, I think that taints the investigation. So I want to do my best to go find data and empirical evidence.
That's awesome. Lola, I don't know if she has heard about anything that you were saying about equipment, but she said, is there a piece of equipment you would advise against using?
Many. About 75% of what people are using, honestly. SLS cameras, spirit boxes, any kind of goofy apps, things like that. I mean, just
I've been getting so many people
using
those ghost apps and stuff like that. I just don't get that.
Again, to each their own, you know what I mean? Like, again, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I mean, I always look at this from the idea of pushing the field forward to hopefully one day stepping out of the shadow of pseudoscience and going towards the scientific aspect. Those devices are untrustworthy. They're meant for snake oil. They're meant for smoke and mirrors. They're meant to make people feel more important than they really are, unfortunately. I don't mean that in a bad way. I know I say these things sometimes and people get really upset with me and they think I'm trying to be an asshole or a dickhead, whatever you want to say. But no, I'm just being honest. I'm entitled to my opinion just as anyone else is. So, I think it's all bullshit. So
yeah, everybody has their own opinion, but once you say something, you're wrong. No matter what, it's
right.
It's
well, especially when you have some of these TV stars going out there trying to get people blacklisted for their opinion. That's a big problem. You know what I mean? You have these people that almost like the paranormal feels like the mafia in a way. If you don't agree with them, then you're going to be wearing concrete shoes under a river or some shit like that. I don't know. You have to agree with them. And if you don't agree with them, they're going to go on their Twitter and tell people not to work with you. That's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
One thing I've been doing lately is, because I'm a scuba diver, a certified scuba diver, we've been doing, me and my friend, underwater paranormal diving.
Nice.
Really awesome. We've been doing these shipwrecks, and we've been getting amazing evidence of just light glows coming out of a ship, and just like actually EVPs. He invented this type of, I can't remember what it's called, but gets this really cool evidence of EVPs and stuff like that. So it's trying to get into the most diving aspect of the paranormal world.
That right there is what we need, man. Innovative ways to go out there and do something new, something fresh. Yeah. That's amazing right there. I love that.
Think about diving, because this is the paranormal underwater too, because look at what it's going to attach. If people have died on a ship, they're going to be attached to it, Mm-hmm. And there could be bodies still there. Like, there's so many places I want to go dive and just check it out, because I think it'd be freaking awesome, to dive stuff like that.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, dude, I'm so thankful that you're on the show. I know you got to get going soon, but before we go, I want you to get what would you tell a brand new investigator? You know, if they're starting out right now, what kind of wisdom would you give them?
I would say read as much literature as you possibly can about the genre, about the field. Really figure out the way you want to conduct yourself. What is your methodology? What is your protocol? What are your ethics? What are you looking to achieve? Is it personal knowledge? Is it the advancement of the field? Or is it just to go out and have a thrill? Figure that out, lock it down, go out and conduct that research accordingly. Don't just throw yourself out there because it can be dangerous sometimes, not only if you're going into homeowner cases and getting yourself involved in domestic dispute situations, people mixing medication. It can be really dangerous. Figure out your style of research, what you're looking to do, lock that in, and then go out and conduct it.
That's awesome. Good words, man. Before we head out, Wes had one more question. Looking forward to your book next year. Do you know when it will come out?
2021. I can't give exact dates yet, but we're right there, Wes. We'll let you know, man. We will let you know.
Well, guys, thank you for joining Animal Paranormal Live. Thank you, Brandon. You're awesome. We definitely got to get together and investigate, man. That'd be freaking awesome.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Much appreciated, man.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.